Hi guys, Laura the Carrot here. Today I'm going to be doing something very interesting. Okay, I was supposed to do a movie watch of Lilo and Stitch, but apparently copyright wanted to be a pain in the butt. So we're going to have to do the second best thing for the release of the remake. We're going to be watching the Nostalgia Critic video, a review of the film. This is going to be interesting to replace the movie watch. It really sucks that we actually couldn't have the movie watch be up, and it hurts a little bit to know that. Especially when YouTube allows others to watch, literally watch their movie, like their movie reactions of this movie. But apparently mine couldn't stay up, apparently. Even no matter what we did, no matter if we cut it down, no matter if we filtered the audio, it apparently couldn't stay up because of you. Disney had to pick out the copyright. Like the audio, we filtered the audio, and they told us to filter it. That the audio was copyrighted, and they, even when we filtered it, they still didn't let us do the reaction. But the damage is done. We got this now, so let's get started and enjoy this.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy, remember? So you don't have to.
Hi!
So you're feeling young and full of life, like you got years and years ahead of you, and you realize this came out 20 years ago. Then you're like,
Wow!
getting old sucks.
Luckily I'm still young.
Released back in June of 2002, Lilo and Stitch was following a line of animated Disney movies that were not pulling in the numbers they wanted. In a desperate attempt to fill seats, they resorted to a strange but memorable advertising campaign where Stitch would interrupt other classic Disney films. Though this had nothing to do with the story's plot, it did get some people laughing. I have questions about Jasmine. It's worked as Lilo and Stitch became a decent hit at the box office, but in time it's become so much more. With 3 DVD sequels, a TV show, an anime, big deal, anyone could get one of those, and countless merchandise, Lilo and Stitch has surprisingly become bank. Ironic, seeing how a lot of Disney's more expensive movies at the time haven't gotten nearly as big a return.
I thought Brother Bear was a success.
I was really loving the story between the sisters and found the alien stuff okay. I honestly felt like there was a quiet Ghibli film trying to get out, but it was being interrupted by the Smurf version of Gollum. But something happened over the years. They grew on me. And again, with all the Stitch memorabilia, it clearly grew on others too. Through the sequels and TV show, I actually did find myself enjoying Stitch and his alien pals a lot more. So I'm curious if this likability was something I overlooked in the original, or if it was something that was added later in the additional spin-offs. Either way, it's gonna be fun looking over this gem again, and I'm excited to give it another look. So let's look this over before.
Too bad I could, like because copyright could go second.
Lilo and Stitch, a Broadway musical?
I'm not watching this to see if that's really a thing. Let's take a look at Lilo and Stitch. We open at the Galactic Federation headquarters where the Grand Councilwoman, just named Grand Councilwoman, discusses what's to be done with a mad scientist named Jumba, played by David Ogden Stiers.
Illegal genetic experimentation.
Disney wants your head unless it can be turned into a purse. The experiment is named 626, voiced by co-director Chris Sanders, and the council wishes to see if there's any good in him. Only green aliens can use that word. The design of Stitch is pretty unique, and passes the silhouette test where if you only saw his shadow, you guess immediately what it is.
You can say that.
It's both cute and threatening at the same time. I guess how many dogs can, which factors later into the story. They try to banish him to an asteroid, but he escapes and steals a ship. Chubby Piglet says he's landing on Earth, Kauai to be exact, and another alien named Pleakley.
Sorry, did he say Hawaii or Kauai?
Because of an endangered species called mosquito.
We've been using it to rebuild the mosquito population, which, need I remind you, is an endangered species.
So I kinda have a love-hate relationship with this character. Every time his voice starts to get too annoying, he says something funny enough to keep me liking him. Similar to these characters. Quickly is sent to Earth with Jamba, who's offered his freedom for Stitch's capture.
626 will not come easily. Wipe that smirk off your face!
Where we're introduced to Lilo, played by DeVay Chase.
Every Thursday I take Pudge the Fish a peanut butter sandwich. And today we are out of peanut butter.
And if her voice sounds familiar, it's because she played every little kid in the early 2000s. The reason? Well, she's really freaking good. From Lilo to Zen, she always finds a vulnerable believability that for other child actors would sound whiny. But she sells it because no matter what the subject, she always sounds like it's important to her.
You rotten sister, your body is crushing me! Why do you act so weird?
Who would care about a fish eating a sandwich?
Fish eating a
I do when she's done
sandwich.
talking about it.
I can't give Pudge tuna. It's fish! If I gave Pudge tuna, I'd be an abomination!
Fish, soil, and green would disagree.
You're crazy.
Oh, she's also a violent little shit. Lilo might be one of the most realistic child characters, not just in animation, but cinema in general. Because she is odd. Children are odd. She's also a troublemaker, but there's a relatable reason you can understand. Her parents are gone. So you can identify with her troublemaking oddness as well.
No! I'll be good! I want to dance. I practice.
With that said, she's also very sweet. After beating up that girl, she's like, oh, yeah, no prob, right? I don't know. Want to see this weird-ass shit I made that's everything to me? When they mock it, she throws it on the ground and leaves it, but finds she can't because it means so much to her. Whoever wrote this either has, or at the very least, understands kids. I get why Stitch is on all the merchandise, but I assure you, if Lilo wasn't done this well, nobody would be buying them. She's where the real comedy and emotion comes from. If it was pretty much any of the kids from the previous Disney movies, their connection would not be as strong, and I don't think Stitch stuff would sell as great.
Hey! Watch where you're going!
Speaking of which, I think a lot of adults can identify with her older sister Nani, played by Tia Carrere. She's stuck both raising Lilo and trying to keep a job, but the two don't exactly complement each other.
Oh, I'm gonna stuff you in the blender, push puree, then bake you into a pie and feed it to the social worker.
Things get worse when the social worker, played by Ving Rhames, named Cobra Bubbles. Because why normal now?
Yeah,
Is
the
noticing Nani's
Arby's
hard
guy.
and coping, to say the least.
Thus far, you have been adrift in the sheltered harbor of my patience.
In a lesser film, he would be the bad guy. But there really aren't bad guys in this. There's just difficult situations. Cobra only cares about what's best for Lilo. Captain Gantu is a cop trying to protect the planet. Even the dude who proclaims himself an evil genius dresses up like Santa at the end. If you told me that going in, I'd say this movie's bullshit, but they make it work here because everyone is likable and, as I said, strangely believable. Put simply, the
It's
characters are
like
interesting
there's
enough
no
that they don't
bad
need
guys
the villain to
here,
impact the
just
drama.
misguided
And for a
people.
studio with so many classic baddies to say we don't need one here, that's really saying something. And yeah, okay, I guess I should talk about the dryer in the original being replaced with a pizza box. First off, they had it hard enough, but now these two don't even have a dryer. Second, in my opinion, this is where the P in PG comes into play. Because yes, there's gonna be things in this kid shouldn't do. But with that said, it doesn't really change the characters or story at all. I can see something like Han shooting first being worth talking about a little bit because it's changing the persona of the character and we lose a little something from him. We're not really losing anything about the characters with this change. And I guess it's to help stop a common accident, so I'm not really that peeved.
I'm already in my room!
The film is very clever to show after their outburst that these two really do care for each other, and that what's keeping them in their difficult place, their parents passing, is also what uniquely unites them to get through it.
We're a broken family, aren't we?
Maybe a little.
The film's also very good at, I know this is gonna sound strange, naturally emphasize over and over that they're sisters. In previous screenings, parents kept saying what a bad mother Nani was, despite them saying several times that the parents were dead. To fix that, they literally say the word sister 3 sentences in a row.
We're sisters. I like you better as a sister than a mom. And you like me better as a sister than a rabbit, right?
Again, in a lesser film, I feel like I'd be focusing more on how this setup doesn't work. I mean, it seems like they're showing very clearly she can't take care of the younger sister. But their chemistry is so good and their love for each other so strong. Shit, I get teary-eyed watching these scenes a little bit.
Oh. Yes. Yes, I do.
I mean, anyone with a weaker amount of strength would get teary-eyed at that scene. Yeah, where's that Grover the Hedgehog? Just as Lilo prays for a friend, Stitch crash lands and gets knocked out, resulting in the locals confusing him for a dog.
You're all mine.
Aliens are growing on me, if for any other reason, the wanton destruction. I love that Jumbo would destroy his creation just as quickly as he made it, and even the alien's first reaction to him landing is gas the planet.
We have to gas the planet.
How are there this many alien species left if that's always their first solution? Stitch catches on and disguises himself as a dog, pretty much using Lilo as a human shield without her even knowing it. Yeah, there's some sick meanness that's winning me over.
This is low even for you!
After passing the Mulan walk.
I want that Mulan McNugget sauce, Morty!
Please, that's so 2017. And 1998 somehow. Stitch steals a kid's bike, which Lilo has no objections to, and realizes he's
I always
surrounded
find it
by
funny
water,
how
which
she
he
never
doesn't react
objected
well
to
Side note, if these
him
backgrounds
taking the
look
bike.
different from other
It was-
Disney films,
she always
it's
thought it was
because
like
the water,
sweet.
reflecting Hawaii's tropical landscapes. It's not done often, but they use it in most Lilo and Stitch spin-offs, including the TV show.
You can shake an apple off an apple tree.
And I'm sorry, the cruel editor in me has to see if this will look as funny as I think it will if I cut it shorter.
You can shake an apple off an apple tree.
It didn't disappoint. Nani is forced to
Okay,
bring
that
Lilo
clip
to
back
work, where she
there
comes across
was
her friend
originally
Jake,
supposed
played
to
by
be
Jason
in
Scott Lee.
my original video as a joke.
Smell like a lawnmower.
I
David
seriously
is
would
probably
wish
the
they
only character
video
that's
could have
bland
gone
in
up.
the movie and bland in the spin-offs. He's not bad, but he feels like he's there just to show Nani will eventually get help with Lilo. Jason Scott Lee can bring a lot to a role, which is why I kind of feel bad he's underutilized. But again, he's by no means a bad character.
Don't worry, she likes your butt and fancy hair.
She thinks it's fancy?
Also, unless you plan to kick it, I don't think you can say butt in a Disney film. Pleakley and Jumpa try to catch Stitch in an attack that, again for Disney, is a little intense. He should look like Mike Wazowski after Sullivan ate him. Nani is blamed and fired from her job. Since Stitch seems way too out of control, Nani says she wants to get rid of him. And Lilo teaches us the only other Hawaiian word everybody now knows aside from aloha.
Ohana means family. Family means
Nobody gets left behind or forgotten.
I'm only keeping him because he legit likes the album Dream. I still can't explain why, but this look Stitch gives makes me laugh hard. It's a look that says,
I don't know what you saw, but you didn't see it.
Stitch discovers with nothing to destroy, he has no purpose, so he tries to find some by reading bedtime stories like The Ugly Duckling. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool these designs are a callback to Disney's Oscar-winning short.
Then the ugly duckling is happy because he knows where he
Oh,
belongs.
I never knew that.
Okay, bullshit. Alan Giant has Superman. I have Ugly Duckling. I guess we're both ripping off E.T. anyhow.
Yeah, that does bring up a good point. Despite the story having a ton of tropes that have been done to death, this still somehow does feel fresh and new. Both Chris Sanders and co-director Dean DeBlois have specialized in taking stories that you've heard a million times and breathe new life into them, almost making you feel like you're hearing them for the first time. I think a lot of that is the uniqueness of the characters and their quick relatability. These protagonists are completely different, these antagonists are completely different, and these supernatural characters are completely different. So it feels like an entirely new journey.
We've been having a bad day.
While trying to find a new job, they run into David, who decides to take them surfing. Stitch finds his fear of water fades the more he sticks around them.
There's no place I'd rather be.
While a lot of people associate this film's soundtrack with Elvis, I dig how there's more traditional Hawaiian-style songs that make their way into this too. In fact, this film is praised quite a bit for how accurately they portray Hawaiian, particularly Kauai lifestyle. Though, I'm sorry, that's not a shave ice. Now that's a shave ice.
Holy shit.
Stitch gets dragged under the water and pulls Lilo,
Still the
which
same thing.
survive, but Cobra sees the whole thing and decides to put Lilo in a different home. Cobra! Again though, I love how he's not being an asshole about it. He legit just wants what's best for her.
I know you're trying, Nani, but you need to think about what's best for Lilo.
No, didn't you see? She climbed into a pizza box, not a dryer!
You know, I really believed they had a chance. Then you came along.
Yeah, before Stitch showed up. Totally had a chance. This leads to a pretty emotional moment where Nani sings to Lilo Aloha Oi. Again, in lesser hands, this could be botched so easily. Honestly, just saying that out loud, she sings Aloha Oi rather than say what's going on, actually sounds comical. But Tia Carrere's acting, some great animation, and refreshingly no music in the background can easily get you pretty choked up.
This scene always gives me goosebumps.
Damn it, where's the bite-sized gonzo?
Lost.
Oh, come on, that's even worse! Completely and Jamba are taking too long, so they're fired, which means Jamba can finally take Stitch his way.
Hiding behind your little friend won't work anymore.
Okay, when I measure the fact he doesn't care if a child gets caught in the crossfire, I'm liking these humorous but demented aliens more and more. With that said, I do think the climax of the film is a little underwhelming. I think they focused so much on the comedic and dramatic expressions that when it came to the action and slapstick, it's not super funny or exciting to watch.
I just remembered, it's your birthday. Happy birthday.
Merry Christmas.
It's not Christmas.
I find it funny. It's still find it funny that they hot potato a bomb.
Oh good, my dog found the chainsaw.
Should be the last line of every Beethoven movie. But for the most part, it just needed to be faster and a bit more creative. Now, to the film's credit, there was a major change that had to be made. The original climax had Jamba and Pleakley teaming up with Nani and hijacking a plane to go after Lilo, who was accidentally taken by Captain Gantu. After 9/11 happened, though, the directors called up Disney and said, "Don't worry, we're changing it." Seeing the original with a plane flying through the city, crashing into buildings, yeah, this was probably a good change. With that said, seeing a spaceship just chase another spaceship isn't anything a lot of animation audiences haven't seen already. But again, with the time they had, it's not a bad workaround. Stitch gets Lilo out the Dr. Mario pill, but is ultimately captured in the end. They start to see, though, that he's not as dangerous as he has indeed grown a heart.
This is my family.
He says what every woman who's ever slept with me says.
It's little and broken, but still good.
Except that last part. And they decide to let him go. It also helps that Cobra knows about the aliens and even made up the mosquito story to keep Earth safe.
CIA?
Convinced an alien race that mosquitoes were an endangered species.
Oh, that's why.
Why'd you recognize Stitch as an alien right away? Oh god, not another Bobbleheads movie! Oh. The house is rebuilt to include Pleakley and Jamba. I laugh my ass off how much it looks like Stitch is smoking, and their family not only grows closer, but also bigger. That's right. They do add a dryer to their home. Oh, no!
Nice little Ohana. And a nice little Ohana.
And that was Lilo and Stitch. For what I already thought was a really good movie, I will admit, it is even better years later. Where several Disney films have a little bit of a dated feel in the early 2000s, this one still remains pretty timeless. Even the aliens, who I thought were only okay originally, are a little better when you compare how much mean-spirited violence is usually in their subtext. Granted, they're not as good as what they do with them later. I personally think they're much funnier in the show and spin-off movies, but it's not really about them as much as it is the title characters. Both Lilo and Stitch bring a solid amount of heart and comedy that's hard not to be charmed by. Even though this is an all too familiar story, hiding aliens, losing parents, the meaning of family, and so forth, it really is the uniqueness of the main characters and the delicate care of the filmmakers that makes it feel brand new. It's hard to believe people have been enjoying this for 20 years, but I know there's even more enjoyment coming up in the near and far future.
Even me. Okay, that was a pretty good review. Honestly, everything he said is actually, I can agree with. This movie is such a nice, timeless film that doesn't feel dated, honestly. I feel like you can watch it anytime, and it still feels very timeless. Honestly, I agree with everything he said here. And honestly, I enjoyed the movie way too much. I hope you guys like this. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. Turn on the notification bell. And let me know if you guys want to see me react to more videos or movie watches in the future. I'm going to head out. I hope you guys like this. Laura is out.